Service, a United Way partner agency. We are located on the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. Today is Tuesday. I know you're not surprised because I'm always here on Tuesday. And it is April the 10th. And your radio hosts today are
Robert Bean
and Tina Beatty. And we will be reading the news for today's edition of the Fayetteville Observer. And Robert's got the weather.
Hey, your weather for today, a little morning rain, mostly cloudy. The high will be 65. Tonight will be partly cloudy and chilly. The low will be 61. Tomorrow there will be sunshine and patchy clouds. The high will be 66, the low 44. Thursday will be mostly sunny and nice. The high 75, the low 54. Friday will be partly sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 58. And Saturday will be partly sunny. The high will be 83, the low 65. Sunday, the high will be 80, the low 50. There will be strong thunderstorms, cloudy and breezy. Monday will be cooler with times of clouds and sun. The high will be 65, the low 40. And Sunday, sunrise today is at 6:50 a.m. Sunset tonight is at 7:44 p.m. Moonrise today, 4:29 a.m. Moonset today, 3:32 p.m. Sunrise on Wednesday is at 6:49 a.m. Sunset tomorrow is at 7:45 p.m. The new moon is April 15th, first moon April 22nd, full moon April 29th, and last moon is May 7th.
Okay. Today is Tuesday. This is Today in History. Today is Tuesday, April the 10th, and it's the 100th day of 2018, and there are 265 days left in the year. Today's highlight: on April the 10th, 1968, In the Heat of the Night won Best Picture of 1967 at the 40th Academy Awards. One of its stars, Rod Steiger, was named Best Actor, while Katharine Hepburn was honored as Best Actress for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. In 1790, President George Washington signed the first United States Patent Act. In 1866, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals was incorporated. In 1912, the British liner RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton, England, on its ill-fated maiden voyage. In 1925, the F. Scott Fitzgerald novel The Great Gatsby was first published by Scribner's of New York. In 1932, German President Paul von Hindenburg was re-elected in a runoff, with Adolf Hitler coming in second. In 1947, Brooklyn Dodgers president Branch Rickey purchased the contract of Jackie Robinson from the Montreal Royals. In 1953, the 3D horror movie House of Wax, produced by Warner Brothers and starring Vincent Price, premiered in New York. And in 1981, imprisoned IRA hunger striker Bobby Sands was declared the winner of a by-election to the British Parliament. And in 1998, the Northern Ireland peace talks concluded as negotiators reached a landmark settlement to end 30 years of bitter rivalries and bloody attacks. And today is April the 10th. I'm looking. Oh, we have a birthday person today. Okay. This is the birthdays now, and we have birthday John Patterson. Happy birthday to you. And you join these people. Actor Max von Sydow is 89. Actress Liz Sheridan is 89. Football Hall of Famer John Madden is 82. Reggae artist Bunny Wailer is 71. Actor Peter McNichol is 64. Actress Olivia Brown is 61. Singer-producer Kenneth Babyface Edmonds is 60. Olympic gold medal speed skater Kathy Turner is 56. Actor-comedian Orlando Jones is 50. Rapper Q-Tip, aka Kamal, is 48. Actor David Harbour is 43. Actress Laura Bell Bundy is 37. Pop musician Andrew Dost from Fun is 35. Singer Mandy Moore is 34. Actor Barhad Abdi is 33. Country singer Maren Morris is 28. And actress Daisy Ridley is 26. And again, happy birthday to John Patterson. We don't know how old you are. Happy birthday anyway.
Okay, Daybreak, need to know. Historic tours. The Cool Spring Downtown District will get historic tours of Old Fayetteville by horse and carriage on Saturdays once a month through November, starting Saturday. The tours leave hourly from 1 to 5 p.m. from 222 Hay Street, across from the Camo Art House Theater. The tour includes historic sites from Fayetteville's rich 250-year history and the stories of people and events connected with them. Call 223-1089 for tickets, which are $25 per person, $20 for military, and $15 for children under 12. Prayer Walk. The 5th annual As One Prayer Walk is Saturday in downtown Fayetteville. The walk starts at 10 a.m. in Festival Park and will include stops for prayer at the North Carolina Veterans Park and the Airborne and Special Operations Museum for military troops, veterans, and their families, City Hall for leaders in law enforcement, Cumberland County Detention Center for those who are incarcerated, the Market House for racial diversity, and the Headquarters Library for educators, children, and their families. The walk ends at Festival Park with music, food, and fellowship. For more information, go to asoneprayerwalk.org. Motorists in the downtown area should be aware that several streets will be impacted by the walk. Storytime and crafts. Local author and artist Carolyn Marino will do story time with the kids at City Center Gallery and Books on 112 Hay Street on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. She also will lead them in an art project related to the story. The event, which is open to the public, is for preschool through elementary school children. The cost is $5 per child. We want to hear from you. Please submit your events in writing at least 10 days in advance. Email calendar at fayobserver.com or fax complete details to 486-3545. For questions, call 486-3500.
Okay. Livewire. Here's the question today. The 2 cars in my household have North Carolina license plates that are so worn that the North Carolina heading is faded or peeling away. Can I get the DMV to replace the plates, and is there a cost involved, and will we get the same plate number? And that's from JC in Fayetteville. And here's the answer. The Division of Motor Vehicles will replace your license plates, JC. You have to fill out a form and take it to a local license plate agency. North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles spokesman John Brockwell said. The forms need to be notarized, and which carries a $5 fee, but there is no charge for the replacement license plate. If your plate is personalized, the new plate will duplicate it, he said. But if your plate is not personalized, you'll get a new license plate number, Brockwell said. You can download the form, print it out, and fill it out prior to visiting the license plate agency. Use Google or another internet search engine to search for DMV Form MVR-18 to quickly locate it.
Public safety. Cumberland County arrest. Calendris Donaldson, 16 of the 200 block of Cud Street, was charged Monday with 2 counts of robbery with a dangerous weapon and 1 count each of attempted robbery with a dangerous weapon, possessing stolen property, and conspiracy. Bail was set at $75,000. James Thomas Nunnery, 26 of the 1000 block of Southern Avenue, was charged Monday with breaking and entering, larceny, possessing stolen property, and conspiracy. Bail was set at $7,500. Amir Joshawn Green, 27 of the 2100 block of Lake Ridge Drive, was charged Sunday with breaking and entering. Bail was set at $2,500. Break-ins. The 600 block of Platinum Street was reported at 11:51 p.m. on Sunday. A television and clothing were taken. Mannington Drive, McKee Homes construction site, reported at 12:13 p.m. on Saturday that nothing was reported missing. Ancient Court reported at 11:40 a.m. on Saturday nothing was reported missing. Vehicle break-in, Hope Mills, Pecan Grove Road, reported at 2:20 p.m. Saturday. Electronics, debit and credit cards, money, wallet, permanent resident card, cell phone, and jewelry were taken.
Okay. Here's an article about a meth lab. 3 people were arrested last week after lawmen executing a search warrant at a home off Elliott Farm Road found a methamphetamine lab, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office said. Complaints from neighbors resulted in the search on Thursday at the residence on Bluebird Lane, about a mile from the intersection of Elliott Farm and Johnson Farm Roads. This according to the Sheriff's Office. The search turned up precursor chemicals used in making methamphetamine, including pseudoephedrine, sulfuric acid, ammonium nitrate, petroleum-based solvents, ethyl ether, sodium hydroxide, and lithium metal that comes from a battery that has been stripped, said Lieutenant Sean Swain, Sheriff's Office spokesman. Most of the chemicals are volatile and can result in an explosion, Swain said. All 3 who were arrested live at the residence. Timothy Wayne Huff, 64, Curtis Wayne Huff, 34, both were charged with 3 counts each of possessing precursor chemicals used to make methamphetamine and 1 count each of manufacturing methamphetamine, conspiracy, and maintaining a drug dwelling. It was not known whether the Huffs were related. Terry McClam, 60, was charged with maintaining a drug dwelling and misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. And that Terry McClam is a lady. There's a picture of her here. Bail was set at $100,000 apiece, and the State Bureau of Investigation assisted in the operation.
Soldier charged in sex assault. A Fort Bragg soldier is accused of forcing a male prostitute to perform a sex act at gunpoint. Alejandro Cabrejos, 38, of Fayetteville, is charged with first-degree sex offense, first-degree kidnapping, misdemeanor sexual battery, misdemeanor assault by pointing a gun, and misdemeanor soliciting prostitution. The Fayetteville Observer does not identify victims of sexual assaults. Just after midnight on Sunday, Cabrejos picked up the man along Bragg Boulevard, said Officer Asia Cannon, Fayetteville Police spokeswoman. Cabrejos drove to another undisclosed location, Cannon said. Cabrejos is accused of pointing a black semi-automatic handgun at the man, forcing him to remove his clothing and perform a sex act. He then drove the man back to the Bragg Boulevard area that was set at $630,000 and help sought to ID car and homicide case. Fayetteville police are asking for help in identifying a car in the investigation of a homicide that happened Sunday at South Riley and Cliffdale Roads. The driver of the 2013 or newer model red or burgundy Ford Fusion may have information about the death of Karen Howard, 18, of the 200 block of Tennessee Walker Drive in Rayford, a police news release said. Police responded at 12:18 a.m. to a reported shooting in the area. Upon arriving, they found a vehicle in the intersection and Howard, who was suffering from a gunshot wound inside. Howard was taken to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center, where he later died from his injuries. Police have said they do not believe the shooting was random. Anyone with information is asked to call Detective W. Lee, 973-3638, or Crime Stoppers at 483-TIPS. That's 483-8477. Tips can be submitted anonymously online at fay-nccrimestoppers.org or p3tips.com.
Okay, here's two small articles. My microphone is wobbling. There we go. Human trafficking rape charge filed. And there's a picture of a woman named Candace Grantham in the article. A Fayetteville woman is accused of holding another woman against her will and forcing her to work as a prostitute and keeping the profits, according to arrest warrants in the Cumberland County Magistrate's Office. Candace Grantham, 31, of the 1600 block of Lyon Road, was charged Monday with human trafficking, first-degree kidnapping, keeping the place for prostitution, promoting prostitution, first-degree forcible rape, first-degree forced sex offense, malicious castration, and conspiracy. The offenses are alleged to have happened between March 31st and April 1st, according to the warrants. Grantham is accused of holding the victim and forcing her to have sex with men for $50 or $100. Grantham allegedly kept the money. Grantham is alleged to have raped the woman, forced her to perform a sex act, and then caused a permanent injury to her, the warrant said. The charges were filed as a result of a search warrant executed Thursday at a residence on the 3700 block of Cumberland Road, according to a release from the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office. It was not clear if Grantham lived at the Cumberland Road residence, but bail was set at $250,000. And then the other small one, a Fayetteville man is accused of sexually assaulting a woman. Michael Anthony Lee, 31, of the 1800 block of Guileberger Drive, was charged Monday with second-degree rape, common law robbery, and misdemeanor unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. The warrants were issued April 5th, according to a Fayetteville Police Department report. No additional information was available, but bail was set at $150,000. Big bail.
UNC leader has praise for FSU by Steve Levine, staff writer. The president of the University of North Carolina system praised Fayetteville State University during a State of the University speech Monday. Margaret Spellings, who has led the UNC system for about 2 years, also said during the presentation at the Airborne and Special Operations Museum that a program that reduces the cost of tuition at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke and 2 other universities is scheduled to begin this fall. State officials, she said, probably will want to see how the program works before looking at whether FSU or other schools should participate. Spellings talked about the issues facing higher education. FSU provides access to higher education for students who can make a difference in their upward mobility, what Spellings called the defining issue of our time. The Fayetteville and Cumberland County area is among the worst in the nation for upward mobility, she said, but we have a proven route to change that through higher education, Spellings said. National data from the Equality of Opportunity Project confirms that public universities, especially highly accessible institutions like FSU, do remarkable work in lifting low-income students to a better life. Spellings said higher education, which has suffered from a send us the money and leave us alone kind of attitude, should be more accountable. Universities have said their benefits are difficult to measure and take a long time to mature, she said. So we've told people to trust us, she said, but I believe that era is over. Spellings said each institution in the UNC system has a performance agreement with measurable outcomes. Here at FSU, Chancellor James Anderson crafted a performance plan focused on getting more students across the finish line, increasing the graduation rate by 6 percentage points, graduating 25% more rural students and 30% more low-income students, all while getting more students through in less time, Spellings said. Spellings said universities must advance the public good. A great many of the people in this state who run businesses, teach our children, heal our families, enrich our culture, and set our public policy will pass through the doors of our university, she said. What we teach, the behavior we expect, and the standards we model as teachers and public officials help set the tone for our graduates and the world beyond. Spellings also talked about the NC Promise Initiative, which reduces the cost of tuition at UNC Pembroke, Western Carolina University, and Elizabeth City State University to $500 a semester. The NC General Assembly budgeted $51 million to offset the loss of revenue at the schools. FSU officials had expressed reservations about the program, fearing that the low cost would be associated with a lack of value. Spellings said after the speech that the schools continued to provide high-quality education, with the state paying the difference in cost. Anderson said after the speech that the program had been connected with a move to change FSU's name to UNC Fayetteville. I think that shed a negative light on NC Promise unfairly, he said. Spellings said FSU now has the second lowest total cost of attendance in the UN system at just $15,000 a year. That low cost is crucial because our students aren't comparing our price tag to a carefully selected group of our peers, she said. They're comparing us to their savings accounts and paychecks, neither of which have kept up with the tuition hikes over the past 2 decades.
Here's an article about something that's been going on now for a little bit and causing some problems. City Council member apologizes for mistakes and defies colleagues. Fayetteville City Councilman Tyrone Williams refused to resign Monday night, despite requests from every other council member and the mayor for him to step down immediately for what they called unethical behavior. In front of a packed room that applauded at times, Williams' colleagues each implored him to do what several described as the right thing so the community could move forward. Calls for Williams' resignation started almost immediately after the Fayetteville Observer published an audio recording Friday in which Williams asks for $15,000 from a Prince Charles Holdings LLC developer. In the recording, made secretly by Prince Charles project manager Jordan Jones, Williams is heard saying he could help clear up a minor problem with the property's title. Williams and T.J. Jenkins, who owns a marketing firm, are also heard on the recording asking Jones to keep the matter out of the public eye. Jones gave the recording to law enforcement, triggering an FBI investigation that involved monitored calls and text messages to Williams in an attempt to get him to accept the $15,000 in cash. Jones revealed this publicly for the first time on Monday night. Williams insisted that the money be handled through attorneys, he and his lawyer have said, and he read a prepared speech before the council, his first public statement since the controversy broke, and I quote, "I have heard from many of my friends and people of the District 2 with a strong support and firm belief that I violated no law," Williams said. "I will not resign from the Fayetteville City Council. I ran for council to serve people who didn't always have a voice in city government. I'm going to try my best to make sure that they are heard. I am sorry for any mistakes I've made, but my intent was always to comply with all the legal requirements in my dealings with Prince Charles Holdings and Mr. Jones." Williams, who was elected by a narrow margin in November, has asked for an independent third-party review. The situation put the City Council in the unusual position of publicly asking one of its members to give up his seat and then voting on it. "My personal opinion, the audio sickened me," Mayor Pro Tem Ted Moan said, "and I am asking Council Member Williams to step down immediately, strictly based on ethics and the appearance and what I heard on the video." Councilman Jim Arp said his decision to ask for Williams' resignation came neither easily nor lightly, but Arp and other council members said the public trust and the reputation of the city and the council are at stake. Prince Charles Holdings is investing $65 million to develop around the city's future minor league baseball stadium on Hay Street. "I think it's prudent, I think it's honorable, and I think the right thing for you to do is to step down," Arp said. Councilman Johnny Dawkins noted that the council does not have a recall process to remove Williams. "We cannot make him resign, and now we have just been told he will not resign," Dawkins said, adding that the city would ask the legislature for that authority. But the city does have a means of removing Williams through a very rarely used process called a motion. City Attorney Karen McDonald told the council. In 2013, Hope Mills was the first community to use a motion since 1935 when the Board of Commissioners removed Tonzi Collins. A new Hanover County Commissioner was removed through the process that year too. According to the UNC School of Government, a motion typically takes a few months. It must include a notice to the official, a hearing and a fact-finding process by an impartial decision maker. The council would then vote on whether to remove Williams. If Williams is forced out or steps down, the council would seek applicants to appoint to fill out the rest of his 2-year term. The council didn't vote on a motion Monday, but it did vote 9-1 with Williams against to have the city's Ethics Commission examine the issue of conflict of interest involving Williams and his votes related to the Prince Charles holdings. Earlier in the evening during a dinner council session, Williams handed out a 2-page statement and a timeline of events prepared by his lawyer, Chris Popp, that's P-O-P-P-E, of the Richardson Law Firm in Fayetteville. Unfortunately, there have been some key facts ignored in the rush to condemn Tyrone Williams, Popp wrote. He said the December 21st recording shows Williams insisted that the $15,000 should be handled straight from the attorneys. Between December 21st and February 13th, Mr. Williams made no attempt to contact Mr. Jordan, Popp's statement said. Instead, it was Jones who called Williams, and on February the 13th, it is Jones who offered to pay $15,000 in cash. Councilman Williams declined the offer, and the very next day sent a letter instructing Jones to send a formal proposal that would be forwarded to Williams' attorney and the city attorney. Popp's statement prompted Jones to speak during a public comment period at the meeting, to which Williams threw up his hands. I was surprised and disappointed to receive this statement, Jones said. In it he refers to a text message on February the 12th and then a phone call on February the 13th made from a cell phone number by me to him. That is not my personal cell phone number, it is that of the FBI. This text message and other text messages and calls I made to account. I'm going to let you finish reading this because it just goes on and on. Let's see, where am I? This text message right there.
Okay. This is not my personal cell phone number, it's that of the FBI. This text message and other text messages and calls I made to Councilmember Williams were made under the sole authorization and supervision of the FBI. All text messages and calls were monitored by the FBI. I've been asked by the FBI to not reveal this information, Jones said. However, given tonight's statement from Councilmember Williams, I must reveal this information now to clear my name and that of my organization. People in the audience gasped at the statement, and someone muttered, "Wow." According to Jones, he was contacted by Jenkins on December 12th saying that a lawyer had discovered a cloud on the Prince Charles property title. Jenkins invited Jones to a meeting at his office with Williams. Jones was suspicious and recorded the conversation using an app on his iPad. On the recording, Williams alleges that the Prince Charles Hotel's former owner, John Chen, never repaid him a $100,000 loan about 10 years ago, but court records indicate that isn't true. Williams tells Jones he did a lot of work on the hotel for Chen and was never compensated for it. Jones asked Williams if he has a figure in mind that he's seeking. "I don't know," Williams tells Jones. "I think I did about $15,000 worth of work on the project, just trying to put my effort into it. I had $100,000 written off, I believe, but I think I would just sign off for like $15,000. I'd be done. I'd be over with. I'd be completely done." Jenkins and Williams can be heard on the recording telling Jones to keep the matter private. "I don't want anybody publicly to get wind of it," Jenkins tells Jones at one point before Williams arrives at the meeting. Jenkins adds that it would only open up this can of worms. Then you can get taxpayers saying, "Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that?" And they'll question it. Several council members on Monday described their reactions to the audio. ARP said that the tape was overwhelmingly disturbing. And what was disturbing was the willful intent to conceal this activity from the public, which violates everything we stand for as elected officials in the spirit of transparency and in the spirit of acting on behalf of our citizens, he said. Council members stressed that they are only concerning themselves with issues of ethics. The Ethics Commission will not look into potential criminal wrongdoing. It's unclear whether the FBI is still investigating. 2 members of the public asked Williams to resign during a public comment period. Pamela Carter, a resident of District 2's B Street neighborhood, who was involved in its revitalization, said she had expected Williams to resign on his own. I just believe it is in the best interest of my neighborhood in District 2 and all of Fayetteville for you to step down, Carter said. She said she is concerned that Williams will not be able to vote on the development projects occurring in downtown. Williams has been forced to rescue himself from such votes. Now we don't have a voice in that. We have no advocate, no voice. This is disheartening, Carter said. This is disappointing. We want you to do the right thing, Mr. Williams. Amy Saperton, also of District 2, demanded that Williams resign immediately. I find it incredulous that you show such little regard for your fellow council members that you do not take their suggestion that you resign. How in the world can you do that and then go and state that you are here to serve your district? Saperton said. You obviously are not here to serve your district. You certainly do not represent me or my household. Both women received applause and cheers after speaking. After the meeting, Williams declined to comment and referred questions to Pop. Colvin said he wants Williams to leave his position one way or another. We have legal looking at what our options are, Colvin said. As a precaution, the council unanimously voted to retroactively recuse Williams from 5 votes regarding the baseball stadium and the Prince Charles Holdings development since December 21st. None of the outcomes on those votes changed. And this is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. In making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our address is P.O. Box 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at area code 910-672-1600 or toll free at 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Tina Beatty
and Robert Keene, and we are proud to serve you today.
I was going to read it about the golf tournament, but I think that's gone by, hasn't it?
It's been rescheduled for May 12th.
Oh, it's been rescheduled. Oh,
for
thank
May 12th.
you. For May 12th. Okay. So, in an effort to support our mission and continued financial success, we'll be hosting our 8th annual golf tournament on Saturday, tell me again.
May 12th.
May 12th at Gates 4 Golf and Country Club, starting at 11. Tee-off will begin at 12. With your support of $100, your sponsorship will include additional advertisement and hole signage. A corporate sponsorship of $300 will include all of the above, and 4 players will be eligible to play for free. So, if you need any more information, because any donation is tax deductible, we're a 501c3 organization. So, if you need some more information, you call Valerie at 910-672-2013 or 797-2944, which is her cell phone. Hope you'll come out and support us. This is Byron Pitts. See if I can stay away from read this. Actually, it's about the same subject we just got through reading. It's about Councilman Williams. And there's a picture up here. It says, Mayor Mitch Colvin, left, sits next to Councilman Tyrone Williams in a dinner meeting Monday before the regular council meeting. Colvin joined the rest of his council colleagues in asking Williams to resign over an ethical violation, which Williams refused. So, Myron says, no surprise that Williams won't resign. City Councilman Tyrone Williams, who after last night can be called the man against the people of District 2, violated the public trust just 17 days after taking office last December. so I guess we should not have expected him to do the right thing on Monday and resign. That would have been unselfish. That would have required sound judgment. That would have taken someone whose mind was focused on the best interests of the city. In lieu of that, the man we have is Williams. So we got defiance at Monday night's council meeting. He waved off a signed letter by all 9 of his council colleagues to resign over his clear ethical violation. I will not resign from the Fayetteville City Council, he declared. As if that weren't enough, he heaped on nonsense during his brief statement among his first public comments on the matter. I ran for council to serve people who did not have a voice in city government, he said. I am going to try my best to make sure that they are heard. I am sorry for any mistakes I made, but my intent was always to comply with all legal requirements. He said he'd answer no questions and refer the public to his lawyer. Then, with a straight face, he added, I will work hard to continue to be the kind of councilman my constituents deserve and respect. I look forward to serving the people in the city of Fayetteville, and we have a bright future, and I am proud to be part of it. Audio released Friday exposed that Williams on December 21st tried to get $15,000 from a developer of a project on the site of the former Prince Charles Hotel adjacent to the baseball stadium under construction on Hay Street. He told project manager Jordan Jones in the secret meeting that he was owed money by the previous owner of the Prince Charles. Williams' claim was ruled to be phony baloney by a U.S. bankruptcy court judge in 2013. Some residents of District 2 spoke during the public forum Monday. They were not happy. They included Pam Carter, who sketched an opposite picture of Williams than the one he tried to portray. In the interest of disclosure, Carter works at the Fayetteville Observer in the circulation department, but she's a community advocate from way back. She is part of the B Street Coalition, a group of folks who have worked their tails off in conjunction with Fayetteville Police and the city to make their economically hard-hit part of downtown a better, safer place. Carter said that Williams represented a loss of voice for her and her neighbors. That's because he cannot vote on the stadium or related projects, arguably the biggest economic development investment in city history and located in District 2. Williams is recused from further votes. Plus, the council had to redo 5 votes that he did take part in to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest. Carter said she had not seen or heard of Williams since the election, and he does not respond to her attempts to reach out to him. I didn't write a prepared statement like I should have, Carter said, because I had held out hope when I saw the news that council and the mayor had unanimously decided to ask Mr. Williams to step down. I thought, surely you'll do the right thing now. Yet here we find ourselves. She continued speaking to Williams directly. We have no advocate, no voice. This is disheartening. It's disappointing. I want you to do the right thing, Mr. Williams. He won't. Instead, Williams circulated a handout with what he claims is a timeline of events, the major point of which was to try to shift the blame to Jones by making it look as if he was the one trying to craft the shady deal. As if a man overseeing a $65 million project would go through such a risk to give a chucklehead like Williams $15,000. Give me a break. Jones, during the public comment session, explained that his contacts with Williams after the December 21st meeting were initiated by the FBI, which was investigating. The City Council does have at least one option to try to remove the man against District 2. They can try to boot him out through a motion, a legal proceeding akin to a trial. That's a motion, which is all one word. The Hope Mills Board of Commissioners successfully removed Tonzi Collins by that process in 2013. That could take months, but council members seem determined to go through with it. This seat belongs to the people we represent, Councilwoman Tisha Waddell said, and I second that motion. The people deserve to get that District 2 seat back so a real public servant can fill it. Good column, Myron.
Search continues for missing man. Search efforts continued Monday to locate a Fayetteville man who went missing from a campsite in Bladen County on Saturday.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Volunteers, park rangers, and law enforcement officers from 18 agencies are part of the search for Jesse Scrove, 23, was reported missing from his cabin at Singletary Lake State Park near Elizabethtown on Saturday. He was camping with a church group from Fayetteville. Right now, we're doing a focus search in an area on the lake where he was seen, said Katie Hall, a spokeswoman for the North Carolina Division of Parks and Recreation. The 1,221-acre park is in Bladen County on NC 53, 10 miles southeast of Elizabethtown, and 6 miles east of White Lake. It's open only for reservation by groups of 20 or more for camping, retreats, and environmental education. Public access is restricted when groups have reserved the park. Someone from the church group noticed Scrove did not return to his cabin around 2:30 a.m. on Saturday. The group's leader was notified about 9 a.m., and the park staff was contacted. Scrove's canoe was found just before noon Saturday. Scrove had previously been seen in the canoe alone. Officials reported finding the canoe in an upright position in the middle of the lake. Crews kicked off the search Saturday, worked through Sunday, and resumed Monday morning. The NC State Parks is leading the search, which includes a K-9 search team, helicopters, boats with sonar capabilities, airboats, all-terrain vehicles, and people on foot. Fayetteville police are assisting by using a drone to search the park. Scrove was described as 5 foot 6 inches tall and about 125 pounds. He was last seen wearing a white sweater with a gray chevron pattern, khaki pants, and burgundy New Balance shoes. For information is asked to call Bladen County Emergency Services, area code 910-862-6760.
Okay, here's a notice about a Festival of Praise being rescheduled. The Festival of Praise show scheduled for tonight at the Crown has been rescheduled for April 23rd, the venue said. People who bought tickets online or over the phone will receive new printed home tickets by email within 48 hours. The old tickets will not be valid for the rescheduled event. People who bought tickets through WIDU or Crown Complex group sales will be contacted directly by those groups to exchange their tickets. People who bought tickets at the Crown Complex box office or the Fort Bragg Leisure Travel office should bring their tickets to the box office Monday through Friday between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. or Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to exchange them. For more information, call the Crown box office at 438-4100. The show is scheduled to feature Fred Hammond, Donnie McClurkin, Take 6, James Fortune, and Pastor Charles Jenkins.
Superintendent pick to be announced. The Cumberland County Board of Education has chosen a new superintendent and plans to introduce him to the community Wednesday, the board's chairwoman said. This person met every area that we needed, Chairwoman Carrie Sutton said. I'm excited. The board has scheduled a special meeting for Wednesday at 2 p.m. The meeting will be in the boardroom at the School System Central Services Building on Gillespie Street. The announcement of the meeting says its purpose is to vote on a new superintendent. I think the community is going to be pleased, Sutton said. I know we are. While the official election won't happen until Wednesday, Sutton said the board has selected a new superintendent. The particulars have been taken care of, she said. He has taken the position. Sutton described the candidate as amazing. We had such a strong pool, she said. It was a tough journey because we had such great candidates. The school system received 31 applications for the position, Sutton said. The applicants include the leaders of 9 school systems in North Carolina and 8 others with experience leading school systems across the country. The school board held a public forum in November to get feedback from residents about the traits they would like to see in a new superintendent. Surveys about the characteristics were filled out by residents of the community and school system staff members. I want to thank the community and the board, Sutton said. We worked hard and put the students first. Speakers at the public forum urged the school board to seek a superintendent who values diversity. 509 speakers at the forum mentioned the need for inclusiveness, with several specifically talking about providing a safe learning environment for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students. A survey of Cumberland County Association of Educators members shows that the new superintendent should support smaller classroom sizes, discipline, training, professional development, and a culture of learning. The new superintendent will succeed Frank Teal Jr., who led Cumberland County Schools for 7 years. The school board decided unanimously in July to buy out the final year of his $271,000 contract. Interim Superintendent Tim Kinlaw, a 24-year veteran of the school system, did not seek the permanent position.
This letters to the Observer, this one letter today. This administration has a turnover rate that is unprecedented. Anyone who goes against the values and beliefs of a few appointed officials gets replaced. Boy, is that true. Most recently, former VA Secretary David Shulkin. I find it appalling that the White House wouldn't allow Shulkin to defend himself against the accusations regarding his expenditures during his vacation, which is in quotation marks, which we now know were justifiable. Was he silenced? He works for us and the VA, not the president. The real reason for his firing is due to the administration wanting to privatize the VA, which Shulkin was against. I am a veteran who receives care from the VA, and I highly oppose privatization. Many veterans have complex needs, which are best met by the VA. How dare someone who never served in the military due to bone spurs try to privatize an organization that he knows nothing about, nor will he ever, because he failed to serve this nation? What about our elected officials? Did they serve? If they didn't, why would they support privatizing the VA? Will they ever receive care from the VA? If not, they really don't have a valid voice in what is best for veterans. I encourage our legislature to support bettering the VA as it stands. No privatization. And that letter was from Amber N. Abreu, who lives in Winnebago.
And in the Observer's editorial, DEQ gets tougher on Gen X, but needs more help. It's becoming increasingly evident that the spread of Gen X into the water supply from the Chemours plant is an air pollution problem too. There are in fact several ways that the chemical used in producing Teflon and other non-stick coatings has spread into the water supply of much of this region. While state regulators initially targeted wastewater and runoff from the plant, they now understand that large quantities of Gen X are escaping into the air from the chemical plant on the Cumberland-Bladen County line. The State Department of Environmental Quality said last week that rainwater tests conducted in late February and early March found Gen X as far as 7 miles away from the plant at levels from 45 to 810 parts per trillion. The state's health goal for drinking water is 140 parts per trillion. State regulators have also noted that Chemours' estimates of air emissions have steadily increased as the DEQ's investigation of the pollution has continued. There are more test results awaited, including fish from the Cape Fear River and in local lakes, and there need to be tests on fruits, vegetables, and meats raised in the plant's vicinity. But there is a substantial volume of research already done, and the state appears to be taking a firmer hand with the chemical giant, a welcome move. Last week, the DEQ gave Chemours 3 weeks to show that it can prevent its air emissions of Gen X from polluting groundwater, and told the company that it will modify the terms of its air quality permit. Chemours must show to DEQ's satisfaction that they can operate without further contamination of groundwater. We will prohibit all Gen X air emissions, DEQ Secretary Michael Reagan said. The company has until April 27th to respond and demonstrate that its emissions don't contribute to groundwater violations. Failure to do that will result in the state prohibiting emissions of Gen X. Given the most recent test results showing the Gen X content of rainwater collected around the company's Fayetteville works, it's hard to see how the company will avoid the difficult sanctions. Chemours, however, says it has made unprecedented efforts to clean up the plant site, including digging up and disposing of contaminated soil. It has also committed to install activated carbon absorption systems to control emissions And we'll follow that with the installation of a thermal oxidizer that will prevent at least 99.99% of Gen X emissions. Those are positive steps, but it's a little like closing the barn doors after multiple generations of horses have run out of the barn and off of the farm. Appears that water and air pollution from the plant continued for decades until they were discovered by researchers last year. Digging up contaminated soil at the plant isn't going to clean up the huge plumes of Gen X and other pollutants that are in the groundwater for miles around the plant, nor will stopping the outfall of Gen X into the river offset whatever health effects the pollution has had on generations of residents around the plant excuse me, and downstream from it who have been drinking tainted water. While the DEQ's response to this pollution emergency has been exemplary, it's also been hampered severely by years of budget cutting that left the agency badly understaffed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you finish?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'll be glad to pass it over. Let's see how much time we've got. We got a bit, and there's one with a piece missing. Before we have to start the. Let me do one a bit longer. Maybe that'll take a little bit more time because we don't want to start our obits until 11. Okay, here's an article from Clinton. Clinton hires football coach. The Clinton football program has officially changed hands from a legend to a first-time head coach. Corey Johnson, who spent 5 years as the defensive coordinator at Scotland, has taken over the Dark Horses in his first head coaching job. Johnson said Clinton's strong tradition of success was among the factors that drew him to the position. Many similar to the environment at Scotland. Absolute great tradition, he said. A blue-collar work mentality, small community. My previous occupation was the exact same way. Johnson takes over for Bob Lewis, who retired in January after a decades-long career spent mostly at Clinton with stops at East Bladen, Pender, Whiteville, and Harold's Christian. Over 2 stints as head coach, Lewis led the Dark Horses to 4 state championships and 6 state final appearances, most recently in 2014. While Lewis was a staunch believer in a run-driven offense, leaning often on the wing T formation, Johnson said he plans to coach to his personnel, though he's not trying to reinvent the wheel. And here's a little article about someone who was found dead in a car. Let's see if we can't get the pregnant woman found dead in car. A pregnant woman was found dead Sunday. This is from Southern Pines. In a car several feet past a dead-end cul-de-sac near Poole Park. Southern Pines police responded about 7:45 p.m. to South Gaines Street after receiving a call from a person who found the car. They found the body of Iona Clarice Barrett, 18, of Sanford inside the car. Detectives said they do not believe that this was a random act of violence, but gave no other information as to the cause of death. The body was sent to the office of the chief medical examiner in Raleigh for an autopsy. Anyone with information is asked to call the Southern Pines Police Department at 910-692-7031 or the crime tip line at 910-693-4110, and callers do not have to give their names.
So, in brief, Chicago. Duckworth has baby, first U.S. Senator to give birth in office. Senator Tammy Duckworth has given birth to a baby girl, making her the first U.S. Senator to give birth while in office. The Illinois Democrat announced she delivered her second daughter, Maylee Pearl Bowlesby, on Monday. Her office says Duckworth is recovering well and asked for privacy. Duckworth, a 50-year-old veteran who lost her legs in the Iraq War, is one of only 2 lawmakers who have given birth while in Congress. Her first daughter, Abigail, was born in 2014. Duckworth says Bailey's middle name is in honor of Duckworth's husband's great aunt, Pearl Bowlesby Johnson, who was an Army officer and nurse in World War II. From Houston, the state pledges 1,600 troops for Trump's border fight. Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas pledged on Monday to send about 1,600 National Guard members to the U.S.-Mexico border, responding to President Donald Trump's plan to use the military to fight illegal immigration and drug trafficking. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said he would add about 300 troops a week to the 250 members of the National Guard, whose deployment was announced Friday until the total number reaches at least 1,000 troops. Arizona officials announced they were sending 225 Guard members Monday and another 113 on Tuesday. New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez's office said 250 Guard members from the state will serve on the border. These are from the Associated Press.
Well, I'm looking for a pen, folks, because when I start reading the obituaries and the death notices, I need to mark through them, or I'll either forget one or read them twice. I don't know which it was. Probably forgetting. But we've got about 3 minutes before we have to do this. So, we got any little ones? No, because these have to be read after the obits.
I could probably get this one in.
Okay, go ahead.
Deems Hook bloggers Diamond and Silk as unsafe. The Diamond and Silk political video bloggers from Hook County are making national headlines this week as they say Facebook has told them they are unsafe due to community. This has brought accusations that Facebook has a left-wing or liberal political bias. Diamond and Silk are hardcore supporters of President Donald Trump. The duo rose to popularity in 2015 for their intense and enthusiastic praise for Trump in videos they published on YouTube and Facebook. They also dole out vociferous invectives against his critics. They later appeared with Trump during the campaign. They don't want us to be heard because basically an election is coming up, Rochelle Richardson, the Silk portion of the team, told the Fox and Friends morning television show on Monday. President Trump won the election by the people, weeded people through social media. Whenever they found out that's how he won it, that's why they are shutting down conservative voices, people that is pro-Trump. Richardson and her sister, Lynette Diamond Hardaway, often appear on Fox and Friends. The Diamond and Silk Facebook page has 1.35 million followers. According to Fox News, Facebook is looking into the situation. Despite the allegation that Facebook declared their page to be unsafe, it remained active Monday afternoon. Neither Facebook nor Diamond and Silk responded to requests for comment from the Fayetteville Observer on Monday. They told the newspaper in 2015 that they decided to support Trump and quit the Democratic Party because they liked his messages about job creation and illegal immigration. Hardaway and Richardson wrote on their Facebook page on Friday that they noticed in September their followers and fans on Facebook were receiving fewer notices from them. They complained to Facebook, they said. Finally, after several emails, chats, phone calls, appeals, beating around the bush, lies, and giving us the runaround, Facebook gave us another bogus reason why millions of people who have liked and or followed our page no longer receive notification, while our page, post, and video reach was reduced by a very large percentage, they said. There is a reply from Facebook Thursday, April 5th, 2018 at 3:40 p.m. Policy team has came to the conclusion that your content and your brand has been determined unsafe to the community, item says. They said Facebook told them the decision cannot be appealed. This is deliberate bias, censorship, and discrimination. These tactics are unacceptable, and we want answers to women vote.
Jolly good. You're a speak reader. I gave you that half, and I've got the other half over here, okay? Let's see. This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayetteville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC in Chapel Hill. As a non-profit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the SENCRRS in mind. Our P.O. Box number is 35029, Fayetteville 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or our toll-free number 1-844-709-5656. And your radio hosts are
Robert Dean
and Tina Beatty, and we are proud to serve you today. Okay, let's start on these obituaries. We're good, aren't we? You switched us over. Yeah,
yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so here we go. With the death notices, the following deaths have been reported, and upcoming editions of the Fayetteville Observer will have more complete information as it's available. Jerry N. Casey, 49 of Fayetteville, Unity Funeral Services. Salvatore Sam Maiello, 95 of Fayetteville, Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. Jesse B. Rudd, 97 of Fayetteville, Jernigan Warren Funeral Home. Paul Glenwood Dason, 65 of Fayetteville, Rogers and Brees Funeral Home. Ricky M. Hodges Sr., 64 of Fayetteville, Herring Funeral Care and Cremations. George M. Washington, 82 of Fayetteville, Weissman Mortuary. From the region, Shirley Ann Dossie Bellamy, 71 of Fairbluff, S&L Funeral Home in Fairbluff. George Thomas Goins Sr., 62 of Laurenburg, Richard Bowles Funeral Service. And Joel Campbell, 74 of Laurenburg, Richard Bowles Funeral Service. And here is on to the obituaries themselves. From Fayetteville, Ernest Ernie T. Gore, 63 of Fayetteville, passed away on Thursday, April 5th at Duke Hospital. The family will receive friends from 5 to 7 p.m. on Thursday, April 12th at Sullivan's Highland Funeral Service, with a memorial service to follow at 7 p.m. In lieu of flowers, please consider making a donation to Shriners Hospital for Children at 950 West Farris Road, Greenville, South Carolina, 29605. And online condolences may be made at sullivanshighland.com, and services are entrusted to Sullivan's Highland Funeral Service and Crematory. Also from Fayetteville, Merle Johnson Hayes, 89 of Fayetteville, died Sunday, April 8th. The funeral is Thursday at 2 p.m., First Baptist Church. Visitation, Rogers and Brees Funeral Home, Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Burial will be in Lafayette Memorial Park Cemetery, and Rogers and Brees are in charge of the arrangements.
Okay, region and elsewhere. Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Patricia Struseski, age 83, passed peacefully on March 23rd, 2018 in Littleton, Colorado. Celebration of Pat's life will be held on Friday, April 13th at 3 p.m. at the chapel at Ellis Family Services, 13436 West Arbor Place in Littleton. Mr. John Irvin Autry, 93 of Autryville, died Sunday, April 8th, 2018. Funeral will be held Saturday at 2 p.m. at Clement Baptist Church. Visitation will be at Butler Funeral Home Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The burial will be at Autry Family Cemetery. Services entrusted to Butler Funeral Home of Roseboro. Mary John Collier Huggins, 90, of Clarkton, North Carolina, passed away peacefully at her home on April 9, 2018. Family will receive guests at Elizabethtown Baptist Church Fellowship Hall on Wednesday, April 11th from 2 to 4 p.m. with funeral services to follow in the sanctuary at 4 p.m. Arrangements are by Bladen Gaskins Funeral Home. Rosie Eloise Evans Baker Cady, 84, of Holly Springs, died Monday, April 9, 2018. Funeral will be held Wednesday at 2 p.m. at Piney Grove Baptist Church in Fuquay Varina. The visitation will be at O'Quinn Peebles Phillips Funeral Home in Lillington, Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The burial will be at Green Lawn Memorial Gardens in Fuquay Varina. Services entrusted to O'Quinn Peebles Phillips Funeral Home and Crematory, Lillington. Clayton Clay Wright Jr., 54 of Laurel Hill, died Friday, April 6, 2018. Funeral will be held Wednesday at 3 p.m. at Richard Boyle's Funeral Service Chapel. The visitation will be at the funeral home Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The burial will be at Hillside Memorial Park. Services entrusted to Richard Boyle's Funeral Service. Mrs. Annie Mae West, 94, of 2011 Chad Place in Angier, died Tuesday, April 3, 2018. Funeral will be held Thursday at 2 p.m. at Dafford Funeral Home Chapel of 50 Tippett Road in Angier. The viewing will be at Dafford Funeral Home Chapel on 50 Tippett Road in Angier, Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The burial will be at Angier Community Cemetery in Angier. Services entrusted to Dafford Funeral Home, Angier. Geraldine Rosebar Carlson, 82, of Clinton, died Friday, April 6, 2018. Funeral will be held Saturday at 2 p.m. at Royal Hall Chapel on 301 McCoy Street in Clinton. Visitation will be 1 hour prior to service beginning at 1 p.m. The burial will be at Clinton Cemetery. Services entrusted to Royal Hall Funeral Home of Clinton. Percy L. Murphy, 66, of Roland, died Monday, April 2, 2000.